scholars, I want to go through what is expected for this dinner party and the seating chart. So first things first, we want to find the folder that we need to be working in, which is the week of December the 6th. And when we expand our folders, we're going to see a couple things that will be probably useful for us. The first would be Monday, the December 6th. If you have not done the influential bios and the review on the explorers that we spent some time looking at, you need to make sure you're doing that. These influential bios are about the people who are included in this dinner chart. So it's absolutely essential that you take a look at that, you read that information, and then you add those to the notes that are posted. So all of these explorers are the ones that we're going to use for our seating chart. Once you have looked at that, the next day that you want to take a look at is Tuesday, December the 7th. And you want to look at the directions first. So we're going to look at our Explorer dinner party seating chart. And again, I also have a key on those influential people, so that will help you for this. All right, so what we need to understand is that we are looking at very important, influential men and women of this age. And these are what we call leaders, or sometimes they are also explorers that are going to be invited to a dinner party. Now, with any dinner party, you want to have an enjoyable experience. And so when you create a seating chart, you're going to put people who are next to one another who will have things in common, that they have things they can talk about. And so that's what I want you to think about with this particular assignment. You're going to be putting people next to one another that have things in common. But it's also important to keep in mind people who would not have things in common and would not enjoy sitting next to one another. And so for this example, I want you really thinking about what we call alliances and enemies. And so that we have found in our research and what we have learned about our explorers that Spain and England are going to be at odds with one another. And it really comes down to the fact that Queen Elizabeth and Francis Drake, who are both English individuals, are responsible for single-handedly sinking the Spanish Armada. This is a fleet of ships that was really doing well and exploring all of the New World. And because of Queen Elizabeth and Francis Drake, again, they were English, they conquered and took over most of North America. So it really catapults them to be the leaders of this exploration race. So Spain, for obvious reasons, their whole fleet of ships was destroyed and now they can't explore, is not going to want to be friendly, or in some cases we would call this an enemy, with England, right? They're going to want to sit away from them if they were at the same dinner party. So keep that in the back of your mind. You also want to consider that we have alliances based off of common nationalities, common customs, cultures, those kinds of things. And so Portugal and Spain are going to be what we call an alliance. So knowing that information now, we want to put these people at a dinner party. It's going to make sense. So we're going to start with Queen Elizabeth. So I have her sitting at the chart, or at the table rather, for you already. And so in this box, what I'm going to do is type in who I think she needs to sit with. So for example, Queen Elizabeth is going to sit next to somebody who she has an alliance with. And we just talked about that in the beginning of this video. So she's going to sit next to Francis Drake. So Francis Drake is an important person who is that hired individual who sinks the Spanish Armada. We got that from our notes from a previous day. So they're going to sit next to each other because they share an alliance and are responsible for sinking Spanish ships. So now that we know that, we want to find Francis Drake's picture in here. So if you're not sure who he is, the next slide has their pictures as well as some additional bios that you can use. So I could open that link if I needed to and learn more about those people. Uh-oh. I've been in with the wrong thing. There we go. So there's more information that will pop up if I need to read them. Again, this is already in your notes, so you probably don't need this, but that's just in case you need it. So now that I know who Francis Drake is, I'm going to go back to that slideshow. I'm going to find his picture. Oh, that looks like Francis Drake. And I'm going to put him next to Queen Elizabeth. So in the next seat, since I know that Francis Drake is sitting next to her, I would start off by saying Francis Drake needs to sit next to, and again, can't be somebody who's Spanish and it can't be somebody who's Portuguese. So I need to figure out who would Francis Drake sit next to, and then the why. So I'm gonna put that right here, the who. So you put that in there, and then what do those people share in common? Again, you are going to type that out yourself. I hope this helps. If you have questions, please reach out. You can reach me by email, rhodess@sgsd.org.